friends, it's Mrs. O'Keefe again. I'm here to read another story to you, one of our favorites. We read it back in October, and I am very excited to share it with you. I brought home some books with me, knowing that we might not be together for a little while, and so I brought some of our books from school home, so we get to read some that we've already read and some new ones too. But don't worry, because we will be back together soon, okay? So before I read the story to you, I want to start off with the song that Mrs. Baker always sings to us before library time. So if you remember it, I want you to sing along with me, okay? All right, you remember? Here it goes. Skidamarinky dinky dink, skidamarinky doo. I love you. Skidamarinky dinky dink, skidamarinky doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Oh, skidamarinky dinky dink, skidamarinky doo. I love you. All right, did you sing along with me? I hope so. I think I could hear some of you. I do. All right, so the story I'm going to read to you tonight is called The Napping House. Do you remember The Napping House? Love this story. And it's by Audrey and Don Wood. And they are a husband and wife team. So they are married and they work together and they write books together. So Audrey Wood is the author. So she wrote the story. She wrote all the words. She made it up from her imagination. And her husband, Don Wood, is the illustrator. So he did all the pictures. All right. So let's get started on The Napping House. And some of you may have this at home. Some of you may remember this story. So if you do, maybe you can read some of it along with me, okay? All right, here we go. There is a house, a napping house, where everyone is sleeping. And in that house, there is a bed, a cozy bed, in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that bed, there is a granny, a snoring granny, on a cozy bed in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. Remember what happens next? And on that granny, there is a child, a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed, in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. What do you think is going to happen next? Look at the picture. Who do you think is going to hop on the bed next? I think I know. And on that child, there is a dog, a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a cozy bed. Oh, we forgot the snoring granny, right? A dreaming child on a snoring granny in a cozy bed in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. Did you say it with me? I hope you did. All right, who comes next? Do you remember? Look at the picture. And on that dog, there is a cat, a snoozing cat, on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed, in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. All right, now who comes next? Do you remember? I'll give you a clue. It's little, it's tiny. And it's a mouse. And on that cat, there is a mouse. A slumbering mouse on a snoozing cat, on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, in a cozy bed, in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. Oh boy. I know what happens next. Do you remember? Look carefully in the picture. Do you see something tiny? Not sleeping? Look on the water pitcher. Do you see it? All right, let's find out. And on that mouse, there is a flea. Can it be a wakeful flea on a slumbering mouse, on a snoozing cat, on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed, in a napping house where everyone is sleeping? That flea is awake though. That could be trouble. Do you remember what happens next? A wakeful flea who bites the mouse, who scares the cat, who claws the dog, who thumps the child, who bumps the granny. Oh dear. Do you remember what happens to the bed? It doesn't look good, does it? Who breaks the bed? Look out the window now, though. It's not raining anymore, is it? In the napping house where no one now is sleeping. Here they are, playing outside. Do you see that big, beautiful rainbow? That was a great book. I hope if you have this book at home, that maybe you'll be able to reread it in your own words, or maybe you remember some of the words and you can read it to someone in your family. Or sometimes it's just fun to look at the pictures and make up your own words, right? Yeah. So I'm going to say goodbye, but I will be back hopefully tomorrow because I brought home all kinds of books from our classroom. And I also have a lot of Jake's books too when he was little, so maybe I'll share some of those with you too, okay? And I have my friend Easton here, so maybe he can come over and say goodnight to us too. And then maybe you'll hear this tonight before you go to bed, or maybe tomorrow, okay? I hope you are all well. I hope you had fun looking at some of the links that I sent today about the letter A. I want you to be on the lookout for the letter A. Oh, I see one in the title right here. Do you see it? Right there. Okay, so be on the lookout, and if you didn't do any sorting, maybe you can try some sorting later this week, okay? Try to find some things that you can sort into groups. All right, you ready? So Easton's gonna say goodnight, and then I'll say goodnight. And I miss you, and I will be back, okay? Come here, East. Come here, Easton. Easty, come. Oh, he's not gonna come. Hang on. Let's see. Come here, East. Say goodnight. Here he is. Say goodnight. All right. Thanks, friends. I'll see you soon. Bye.